Whoa. What is going on? It is mad at me. Why? Oh, there it goes. Okay. Yeah, that's better. That was weird. How's the stream going? Get that live. Okay, YouTube looks like it's probably pretty good. How are we doing over here on Twitch? We are looking good on Twitch, I think. Yep, there we go. Excellent. And our chat relay is up and running, which is excellent. All right. Hello, my friends. Welcome back. Factorio, Space Age, Stream World. What is going on here? No idea. Okay. So, one entity is destroyed. What? What? Wait. Where's my car? I have a car now. I don't have to run all the way over there. Hold on. Hold on. Go, go, go. Whoa! Okay. Hold up. Why is that here? Where did that come from? Oh God. I don't have thousands of ammo on me anymore. Oh! Hold up, hold up, hold up. What in the world? Okay. Why was there a biter base right next to my setup? That base was not there before. I cleared this whole place out. Everything was fine. We need to get radars online. We need to get radars online now. Alright, we're gonna come over here. I'm gonna come up here. Skirt! Alright, how are we doing on power? We're at 4 out of 10. We are gonna beef this baby up. Give me... radars. One, two, three. Let's do 4 radars. What is going on? Alright, we're gonna plunk these suckers down up here. Maybe... give me this turret, and we're going to move this turret up here. Like so. What is the right way to use a radar? Scans nearby sectors and actively reveals an area around it. That kind of implies that the better way to do it is not to cluster them all together like this. But rather to scatter them around my base. Kind of in disparate areas so that they uncover more space. So let's do that. Let's see. So I've got one there. That's uncovering all that region. Let's get one down here somewhere. Maybe just right here. Okay. And then let's put one down at the bottom. Yeah, put one like here. And then let's put the last one up there by the copper mine. Oh, looks like I need to fix some stuff up here anyway. There. Okay. That gives me much better visibility of my populated area. And it's going to start chipping away at the outer regions. Oh. Let's fix this guy. We are definitely going to need to start looking at setting up alternate mining sites. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Okay, how are we doing? Weapon shooting speed 3. Projectile damage 3 is about to finish. Shooting speed 3 will be next. Followed by damage and shooting speed 4, and then solar. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Okay. So, we got oil hooked up here, but we're not using it for anything yet, which we need to do. That iron production actually doesn't look very good, does it? What's going on here? It's just limited throughput, I guess. I could build these out further, I suppose. Coal's looking a little rough. Ooh, actually, coal's looking pretty rough. What's going on with coal? Hold up. Oh! Hold up there. That one's out. Okay, let's stick a bunch more of these on here. There we go. Oh! And some of these belts are down. There. Should I start going through and upgrading belts? No, I think I'll hold off. I'll wait until I get, I guess, the next tier of belt before I do that. So that I don't have to do it all again. And I think we're going to get the next tier relatively quickly here. Okay. Okay. So, let me just check and see how things are going. Make sure everything's still streaming good. Yep, stream is going A-okay. Alright. Shoot. What's next? This is the part where I start to get a little Not overwhelmed exactly, but unsure about what the right way to proceed is. There's so many directions I could go, and none of them are really that straightforward. So it kind of feels like if I pick the wrong one, I'm going to end up wasting a bunch of time. And it leads to a little bit of analysis paralysis. Okay. Right. So we've got radars now. What's next? I'm focusing on damage here. I guess let's look at getting those drone things up and running. Those seemed interesting. Where were those? This is trains. We will need trains. Maybe I should focus on trains. You know what else I want to do? That I don't think I've done yet. Let me come up here. Let me set up a crate here. And start collecting walls. And let's make this one a little bit bigger. So this is a stack of 100. Let's do like 400 walls. Because if this stays backed up, I could be continuing to produce walls here. Which I will want because I'm going to want to actually run walls at some point. Also, meanwhile, let's get rid of a bunch of that stuff. I guess this isn't a great place for this because it blocks my ability to extend. So let's put this over here instead. Ooh. Okay, so we have coal down here, or oil. There actually is a big iron patch down here too, 11 million. Which is massive compared to our current iron patch. Let's see. No. Inserters. I'm good on inserters. Turrets. Lights. Here we go. Can stick those in there. Because I don't need them anymore. And then belts are going to be all the way up here. Just trying to clean some of this stuff out of my inventory. Here we go. Okay. There. Beautiful. Okay. Think. What's next? I'm struggling, man. I guess we need to do oil processing. The easiest way to get into oil processing right now is to build a storage tank. So let's do that. We'll run power out to the oil field, and I'll get here we go. Oil processing researched. There we go. Now that oil's not going anywhere, it's just sitting in the pipes, but it is all connected. Although now we're starting to produce pollution from here, which means these guys are going to be a problem sooner rather than later, which is not great. So I should probably get a radar out here. I probably don't have the stuff for a radar, do I? Definitely not. Okay. All right. Okay, so we have refineries and chemical plants now. Weapon shooting speed 3 is going. And projectile damage 4 is coming right after it. Plastics. Plastics is a direct requirement for red circuits, which is a direct requirement for science packs. Hmm. Get some lights out down here. Okay. Uh, where's my car? Let me go get my car. And I'm going to go put a radar down by the pump jacks. Just so that I can see if anything's going on down there. Because right now, that's a big blind spot for me. I should grab some ammo while I'm at it. Oh, that feels so much better. Nothing like carrying around 1,600 ammo. All right. Come on down here. And I want to do two things. First, I want to set up this radar down here. That way I have visibility. And then let's get some turrets in place. There. That should do for now. Just to keep an eye on things. How am I doing on power? 6 out of 10. That's not bad. Ooh, look at that. There's another oil field over there. Okay. Okay. Oh, man. Okay. What do we need? What do we need? I need to get into fluids. I don't know why I'm putting it off so hard. I also need to get into sulfur. Let's queue up sulfur. Um, lasers, huh? Things that I'm noticing is I'm building all this out and I'm going down this way, right? I'm actually going to start running into problems expanding my bus. Because some of these resources, like I have lines planned here for red circuits, blue circuits, plastic, sulfur. I'm actually, like, those are going to be empty for most of the bus up here because I'm creating them way down there. And even green circuits are being a little fiddly because I have them here and then, like, I'm having to do this kind of zigzag. Ideally, these would all be up here. So I'm wondering if maybe I should move my green circuit production of over here below my steel and route my bus items in, and then I can do plastic over here. I can do sulfur over here so that they can all route in at the top of the bus instead of coming in way down at the bottom. Whoa, Nelly! Shoot, 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 shoot! Where's my car? Where's my car? We gotta go, we gotta go! Go, go, go! Go! Oh, they're attacking my power plant! No! Oh god. Skirt! Yo! Oh! Holy crap. Okay. Okay, hold on. Oh my god. Okay, we lost 1, 2, 3, 4 steam engines. I can replace that. 3, 4. Okay. That was scary. It actually turned out to not be that bad. Where the heck did they come from? One of these guys. Why are they coming from all the way out there? Unless there's another enemy base that respawned somewhere. Alright, we're gonna have to go on an expedition here in a minute. Okay, power's back under control. Let's go find my car, since it ran off without me. What? What is that? Hey, Cloud, how's it going? How's your evening? What is that? Oh, that's copper. Okay, that's fine. That is that guy way out there. That's fine. He's nowhere near the... Whoa! You guys are not supposed to be there. That's a huge hive, too. Ah! Back off, back off. Oh my god. Oh, my evening's going pretty well. Going pretty well. Ugh. Just having to deal with the fact that I'm getting into the parts of this game that I don't usually get into, and finding it a little challenging. Fun, but challenging. All right. I should do a sweep and make sure there are no more bases that have respawned inside my region. Okay, we already knew about that one. That one's fine. They're leaving me alone. Okay, okay. Okay, those guys I think are going to be a problem soon, but not quite yet. Okay. So far, so good. There's the uranium, which I don't even know what that's going to involve. What's going on up here? Okay, those are cleared out and we're back to copper. Okay, I think we're good. I don't know what caused them to respawn on me, but I think we've gotten it taken care of, at least for the moment. Those guys are going to be a problem sooner rather than later, though. Ugh. All right. Oh, we have a drill out of order, too. Okay. Here we go. Oh, this one's out of order. Yeah, I'm gonna need to get an outpost set up pretty soon. Man. I swear, you get to this stage of the game and you start having to scale out really, really quickly. I have to deal with massive biter nests. We're going to need to get trains set up because I'm going to have to start shipping in resources because mine are dying out. When you don't build some areas you discover close to your base, they can actually rebuild themselves. So be careful. I'm learning that, apparently. All right. I just got radars online, so that should hopefully help a little bit, but we're gonna need to build out a much bigger network, I think. What am I trying to do? We got oil online, but we're not doing anything with it yet, so we're gonna need to do that. I need to get train stuff automated, I think. Basically, if you can see the map with radars, they can't respawn, so you're good. Okay. Yeah, I finally... When we wrapped up last time, I didn't have any radars. So now I put radars around here, but I think what I'm hearing you say is I want to get radars put out to cover all this area too. Which can be a little doing. I'm also going to need to automate radars, which I have not done yet. What do radars need? Yeah. Plates, gears, and circuits. Plates, gears, and circuits. I must have a factory that uses that stuff. Not down there, I don't. Plates, gears, and circuits. Bingo! Plates, gears, and circuits. I've got this kind of crazy setup. I guess I could just do a second one and use a long boy to get the items out of it, I guess. I guess. Why not? Let's give it a try. We'll put this down, make this inserters. Give me a long boy and a short boy. And we're going to do one of these, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. And then we'll do a short boy like this. Okay. And now I can replace this guy with radars. And I can get a chest. Main bus looks amazing, by the way. Well, thank you. I do not have a ton of experience doing it, and I'm finding I have some throughput issues, but it's been keeping things pretty organized. I have these nice factories. It makes my base super tall, which is really annoying to get back and forth on. But I just got my car, so that's not as bad. But it's making it very, very easy to get resources where I need them to go. So there's that at least. Okay. Radar's automated. That was easy. That was an easy one. I should probably do train stuff next. Let's see. I've got those automated. I've got those. A bigger tune can't make a beam bus. Yeah, setting up the bus I've found was pretty straightforward. I just kind of picked a place, made sure that it was somewhere that I had a lot of room to run, And then I just had to decide what I wanted on like in the bus. And I kind of settled on this breakout, which is not really based on experience very much. I mean, it is a little bit, but it's mostly I was looking at different recommendations people had for what to put on a main bus, and this seemed reasonable. This might be a terrible distribution, I'm not sure. And then I just run these massive lines down in sets of 4 so that I can span belts underneath with these underground ones. And then from there, it's just making sure I space my factories out enough and you use splitters to get things off of it. It's worked pretty well. There have definitely been spots where, like here, I ended up having too much stuff going on and had to shift factories up or down just because my splitters got too crowded. And I definitely have some throughput issues. As you can see, my iron's looking a little light these days. My onboarding is non-existent. This is terrible up here. Like this is supposed to be 4 lines of iron. I'm not producing anywhere near enough of that, and I would have to run a whole bunch of new cable, new belts and stuff. My circuits don't get on the belt, don't get on the bus until down here, which is awkward because there are things above where I'm creating them that actually need them, so I have to do goofy things like this. So I'm still trying to figure certain parts of this out, but for the most part, it has worked pretty well. I think what I'm thinking about doing is taking the items that I have that are on the belt, namely my green circuits, and then I'm about to start doing plastic, and I'm thinking about setting up those factories up here, and then running the belts up and over and down so that I can get all the items in right at the entry point, instead of just having them come in like partway through. Because otherwise, although I have a line dedicated here for sulfur and a line dedicated here for plastic, those items aren't going to exist until you get way down here. So I don't know. I'm not sure yet. But the only oil I have is down here. So I got to figure out, like, if I put my plastic factory up here, then, like, how do I get the oil up there? And so I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out the logistics of actually, like, getting stuff onto the bus. Getting stuff off of the bus is working beautifully. Getting stuff onto the bus, I'm still trying to figure out what the right way to do that is. But I have been so happy with my lab setup, at least. So the way I've got this is my bus is here. All my factories for just stuff, belts and components and whatever, are all on the left. And to the right are my science. So here's my red science, here's my green science, here's my black science, and then we'll set up blue science down there. And then I just route them all over this way into this monstrosity, which is set up to give me, what, 12 different sciences all into this entry point, which will then filter down through all the rest of the labs. So far, this has been working phenomenally. I am so happy with this. And then we've got, what's going on up here? And see, like, I'm starting to run out of resources, which is not great. There we go. How's that one doing? That one's doing okay for now. My coal's filling back up. Good. So, like, this is starting to run out. So now I have to get... And I've got this big iron patch down here. But of course, I'm going to have to figure out how to get that iron up to my smeltery here, which means I probably need to do trains. But I have not automated train stuff yet. And, like, I'll have to clear all this crap out. So I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, this is right at the part of the game that I usually get to, where I start being like, where I felt like I was making really good, solid progress in setting up a strong foundation. This is the part where I start to feel like my foundation is actually not as stable as I thought it was. And I have a hard time getting past this point, so. But this is the first time I'm playing it on stream. So hopefully we can push through and get this, get a little bit further than I've ever gotten before. After I open up electrical turret and set it up with walls and stuff, I just get stuck in the game. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I usually under prioritize defense, and then I just get swarmed with biters, and it's just constant swarms, and there's nothing I can do about it, and it's terrible. I'm doing a little bit better this time, because like I've got all these turrets scattered around everywhere, and they're all stocked with red ammo, and I've got I've been prioritizing all these defense upgrades, so it's going a little better, but I'm still not totally confident in it. Let's see. Let's do trains next. I need to get trains up and running. Okay, let's... Need to extend our thing here. Let's extend these down. I need more belts. See, there's ammo, there's circuits, there's belts. For example, like you can build defenses and type paths like bottom right on your map to easily defend using water, which they can't go through. Oh. Oh, I see. Like you can block the way they can enter on the bottom right. Oh. So you're saying if I build a wall with turrets, basically across here, they can't get in through here then. And I don't have to worry about defending all this or any of this because they can't come across the water. So you can create kind of natural choke points. Intriguing. very intriguing. I didn't think about that. When I was trying to find my oil, oh, there's some more uranium. When I was trying to find my oil, I went all over and I'm like, there is no oil anywhere. This map sucks. And I found this little patch here. And I'm like, it's out on this island and like, it's going to be just miserable trying to get the resources off. But based on what you're saying, this is potentially an opportunity because I could build a wall here and then I don't have to worry about defending any of this because they won't be able to get through there. Interesting. Huh, I'll have to think about that. Can build in water with landfills as well to get your base as quick as possible. Landfills. These. So I could extend my base straight down into it. So I don't have to bring them all the way around. Interesting opportunity. Little for late game. Yeah. I mean, true. But it's something to think about. Got more tight entry points first is my... Yeah. And now you got me thinking, like... Wait a minute. Where's my... Keep losing my car. It's all the way up here. But now you got me thinking... What about all these cliffs? Here, and here, and especially here. I suppose those would function similarly to water, right? Biters can't go over cliffs. As far as I know. Right? And so like something like this, I'd have to create, I mean, this is a little fiddly to mess with, I guess, but I know there are spots, certain spots, like here, where there's like these trenches. Cliffs I don't recommend because some biters are ranged in late game. But again, for early, yes, you can use cliffs. Interesting. Okay, where was I? What was I doing? I was extending my bus. Let's bring all these down. Whoops. Yes, trains. Trains. Because I'm going to need to start moving massive amounts of iron. And I currently have no good way to do that. So let's get our train stuff automated. At least stations and tracks, I think, are the two big ones. There. Okay. We'll do them right here. So, here's rails. We need stone, steel, and iron sticks. Those are easy enough. And stations. Are stations a different thing that I don't have yet? Yes, they are. Shoot. Let's move that one up. Ugh. Should I get more labs? I should get more labs. Labs. Needs a bunch of stuff. How many placeholder labs do I have? I think I have 3 currently working. Let's get 3 more. Let's double our lab capacity. One, 2, 3. All right, power already exists here. So theoretically, this should be as easy as just plunking them down. And it just kind of works. Try focusing on research for lab speed upgrade. I guess you can research the first 2 tiers of the green and red science. I think I already have those. Pretty sure I already have those. Yeah. Yep. And so I need the blue, I need blue science to get the next 2. Which, now that I have oil, once I get sulfur and plastic up and running, then I can do those too. There we go. All right. Doubled my science throughput. And I've got plenty of science stored up, so that's good. Let's check on our power. 6 out of 10. Really? I was expecting those labs to take a lot more draw. But they're hardly drawing anything. Cool. All right. So that's going to double my science throughput. Let's get back down and work on that train automation. And once shooting speed is done, then we'll get the other rail one, and then I can do the stations. All right. So first things first, we are going to do rails. Rails need stone and steel and iron sticks. So let's plunk this guy down. Stone and steel and iron sticks. So let's do the iron sticks first, I think. Can do one of these. And this is going to be a little weird because I'm using red for everything now, which I haven't been up until now, but it's fine. This is going to be iron sticks. This will output this way. And then here, we need stone and steel. So we're going to do that and this. Put these two on the same line. Stone. And steel. There we go. This outputs there, that inputs there. And then this guy is rails. He has a long boy in and a short boy in. There we go. The question becomes, do I think I'm going to need more than one of these? Probably not. So we'll just output into a chest for now. But I will leave this. How much can this do? 100? Let's do... 400 should be good, I think, to start. And let's get some lights. There we go. Easy peasy. Let's go ahead, and we know this is coming, so let's go ahead and get this in place. I'm most interested in train stops, which needs 4 resources. Gross. Steel and circuits I can pull from the bus. Plates and sticks I can make together. I have a setup for this. It's this. Ooh. I will check that out in just a moment. Yeah. Okay. Let's clean some of this up. You can press P and go to the pollution tab. And on the right, see if any biters are in production. Oh! Look at that! And that's going to be right here. Clever. I like that. Thank you. Well, we knew that was coming. I'm just going to go ahead and like go over there and deal with them. Because I've let them be before and it's caused me problems. So let's just deal with it. Get out of the way. It's this one, right? Yeah. Got the ammo. I've got the turrets. Ah! There. Problem solved. Ugh, they're getting so big. We'll deal with those later, though. They're not an imminent threat. Okay. But that is a nifty little wait. Excuse me? Why? Is somebody out here that's not supposed to be out here? Hello? Nice. You're not supposed to be here. I have found the culprit. You are not authorized to set up camp in this location. You did not apply for the appropriate permits. I'm going to have to ask you to leave with extreme prejudice. All right. Okay. I like that. Even without having radars around, this can give me early warning. I like that. That is a very useful tool. Saved me a whole lot of headache right there. Skirt. All right. Now then. This is going to be not pipes. So iron's going to come in here. And then we're going to do iron and iron sticks. Whoops. Okay. There we go. So that's going to be iron and iron sticks. And then I need steel and circuits as a second line. So... I can do this. Like that. I'm out of belts, but I can get more. That's fine. And then this will be those. And then this can just output. And again, we can just output directly into a crate, because I am definitely not going to need more than one of these. On second thought, maybe I will expand that out a bit more. Let's go to 800. There. All right. Let's go up and get some more belts. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. And I want to grab some more coal for my car. Actually, yeah, let's leave that in the trunk. Why not? All right. Excellent. There we go. That's steel and circuits, right? Steel and circuits, yeah. What are these rail chain signals? from rail signals are iron plates and electric circuits. Which... I could just do all three of these here, actually. At start, you can just use train stops the rest for complicated systems. Yeah, I don't expect to be doing much with rails, or with stops and such yet. But it's pretty trivial for me to build this out like so. Just go ahead and craft them all. There. And if this one didn't need stone, it would be very easy for me to integrate that into here too, but I don't want to have to run another line, so it's fine. Cool. All right, so as soon as this research is done, I should have everything I need for trains. I'll need to make the locomotives and the cars by hand, but I think that's fine. Let's see, this gate's blue science, so we're probably going to want to do that sooner than later. I've been enjoying keeping on top of the defensive ones. They are kind of beefy though, 400 each. And this gets me rocket fuel and flamethrowers. Ooh. Plastics gets me into red circuits, which I need for blue science, so I need to do that sooner than later. I'm gonna have these take precedence. Might want to expand your lab system. Yeah, I mean, that's why I added 3 more. I guess I could go ahead and just add the last couple. It's really not sucking up as much power as I was expecting it to, and I have the science production to support it, or at least I did. Like, I've got plenty of science. Ooh, look at that. My iron's all backed up. That's nice to see. Let's go to 60 and then let's just go ahead and get these 4 built out. And I guess I could keep expanding this downward if I wanted to. It doesn't have to keep fanning out. But sooner or later, this is going to be my bottleneck, because I can only ingest science so fast with this setup. Future problems. Might not be a bad idea to get a second red arm here. There. Yeah, it's still paling in comparison to my drills and my assemblers, so. We're okay. Look at that. It's a thing of beauty. How are we doing up here? Looks good. Excellent. There's my rails. All right. Yep, having the little bit of nudge in the right direction is always helpful. I appreciate that. Once I've picked a thing to focus on, I can usually like drive towards that. But until then, I find it rather difficult to pick what I want to focus on. Okay, so this one needs to be iron. There we go. There we go. Okay. There's our plates. There's our iron sticks. And then this is steel and circuits. That. Whoops, I am out of underground belts. It's okay, I can get more. There we go. Okay. All right. So now we can make trains. Trains and stations and stops. There they go. Beautiful. Okay. Now. Okay, so What I'm picturing is I can set up a big outpost here. Mine's iron ore. Maybe we combine it with an oil processing plant, because why not? And then that train, we could even have 2 trains there. One of those trains comes up and drops off. We would replace this and have a train station here somewhere where it would drop off the iron and then loop back to go pick up more. Our iron smeltery stays right where it is. And then the oil, the oil this produces crude oil. Which we can turn into petroleum gas. Or, if we combine it with water, we can produce heavy oil and light oil and petroleum gas. Which works out pretty well for us, because guess what? There's water right there. So it would be very, very easy for me to get water to that oil field. We need blue science before we can do that. So we're going to need to set up a basic system first, and then we can replace it. That's fine. So basic oil processing is going to pull oil out and produce petroleum gas in an oil refinery. Petroleum gas I can use to make solid fuel, plastic, and sulfur. By mixing it with water or coal. And just by itself. And I know this actually can get very complicated very quickly because the ratios don't line up. And then people use circuits to build overflow mechanisms, and it can be a whole thing. Solid fuel is very nice for trains and cars that last so long. Yeah. Yeah, that's... I think, was it this one I was looking at? Coal? It's used in plastic. Yeah, this line here is really designed not as a coal line, but as a fuel line. And my intention is at some point to replace it with whatever upgraded fuels I need. Will I ever actually do that? I don't know. Maybe that won't make sense. Maybe... it speeds up the car as well. Ooh. Ooh. All right, let's just come down here and let's just do a little planning for a moment. All right, first of all, let's get rid of these big rocks. No, okay, that's all clear. Get this guy out of here. So, let's see. What are we thinking? I kind of want... and this is, of course, open on this side, and there's all kinds of garbage going on over here, which is not great. Ugh. Ugh. I probably want two train stations here. One for the oil products and one for the iron, because there's no reason for those to be on the same train. So let's see. But I need power. I need to leave room for power in here somewhere. So I should leave a gap. I should leave a gap of at least one space between these. Yep, I think it's something like that. Whoops. We can just have these huge fields of these things. Like that. Right? And we can keep going up here. 30 miners equals 48 furnaces. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we don't have to put all of these down at once. That would be insane, but... There. And maybe one right there. Okay, there's a little bit there, but this is I mean, this will carry me for a really freaking long time. Okay. And then let's plan out the power. So these are just gonna go here. Like so. Like so. There, 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 there. 1, 2, there. Okay. I think that covers all of them. And then we can go up here. Okay, so that will cover that. Now, how many... My furnaces are all up here. What have I got here? I've got 8, 16. So this will build out to 32. And I could do a third one, and that'll be 48. So that would give me 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So like three of these should be able to fully saturate that up there. If I built this out to three blocks like this. Now, Do I do it like this? I suggest to make a block with 24 furnaces each. It will be less complicated. Yeah, I think was it 8, 16, so 24 would just be 3 rows of this. So just 6 of these. And this will simplify even more once I switch to electric furnaces, because then I won't have to have this coal line in here. Now, the question becomes... Okay, so we've got this, and we're going to get a train set up somewhere. Now, down here... HS Azafan. Okay. So now we've got our pump jacks. Now I need to set up pump oil manufacturing, which we said was going to be to make plastic. I need to mix gas with coal in a chemical plant. To make sulfur, I need to mix gas with water in a chemical plant. And to make solid fuel, we can make solid fuel from gas, light oil, or heavy oil, or ammonia. This is on a totally different planet, so we're not going to worry about that one. Whoops. So then the question becomes... Yep, I got Space Age installed. I have never played Space Age. So I've played base Factorio before. And usually I get right up about to the point where I unlock trains, so right about where we're getting to now, before I kind of fizzle out. One time I got up to like robots and logistics robots and stuff. But I've never beaten the base game. So I just bought Space Age, and I got that installed. So this is the first time I'm playing Space Age. So I have very little familiarity with anything from that side of the fence. Okay. Okay. So heavy oil. Can be used for solid fuel. Heavy oil is used This looks like space age stuff. Holmium ore. Yeah, this is like super scary late game stuff. We're not doing that. Okay, so don't worry about that. So heavy oil is primarily for lubricant. Hey, Ringy, how are you doing this evening? Light oil is used for rocket fuel. Okay, so this can get turned into lubricant in a 1-to-1 ratio with heavy oil. Light oil is also the best one to use for solid fuel. Okay. Light oil is 10-to-1. Heavy oil is 20-to-1. I see. And solid fuel and light oil together make rocket fuel. Okay. So when we do advanced oil processing, we're going to be getting 25 heavy oil, 45 light oil, and 55 petroleum gas. By the way, rushing rocket fuel helps so much because it boosts the car speed by 180%. Let me see. So now that I'm doing all this multi-streaming stuff, and I've got folks on both platforms. Let me see what happens. Let me see if I can get an overlay going here. Let's see, this is games. Let's try that. There we go. Generally been needing more petroleum than heavy light oil, so you'll want to crack in order to prevent overfilling and backing up. Yeah. Let's put this over here, maybe? streamer.bot.chat. There. Show platform icons, show events, show timestamps. Okay. We'll see if that works. Do I have an overlay timestamp? Or a timeout? 5 seconds. Ah, we'll see if that works. Okay, so. Okay, so heavy oil makes lubricant. Lubricant is used for blue and green belts. And electric engines, which are used in really late game stuff. Ooh, robots and rocket silos. And all kinds of good things. Okay. And then light oil is for fuel, basically. So cool. Mainly electric engines, since that's needed for science. Oh, is that needed for science? Wait a minute. Where is it needed for science? Is one of these needed for science? That one is. Ah, it's used in yellow science. Okay. I decided, it looked like the overlay was working there, but I decided I don't like the message timeout. Let's turn that off. And let's do, I don't know, let's try 30 messages. And then I just update that. Hey, look at that. We have chat. It's a little fiddly. I think I kind of want it a little better on the left, maybe under me. Let's see. That's a little better. Let's play with some size numbers. Five seconds low, yeah. Blue-green belts in particular will need a lot, but that's effectively not a constant cost. Right, because it'll make up a stockpile of those, but then it'll just be there, and it'll use them when I grab more, but it shouldn't be an ongoing thing. Okay. let's bring, what if I bring this down a bit? A little more. There it is. Okay. How do you think about that? Huh? Ha ha ha! Twitch, YouTube. YouTube, Twitch. All right. That's better. Cool. Okay. Now, back to the game. Where were we? Hold on. What? Wait a minute. What is that? Hold on. That's gonna bother me. What do I see there? It's cutting off just a bit. Want it? I mean, I guess I could just shift it up a little. There we go. That's better. Cool. All right. Okay. So now, right. Okay. So I was futzing around with these things. And at the end of the day, what it comes down to is I'm going to need a chemical plant. I'm going to need chemical plants, right? I'm going to need a chemical plant to turn heavy oil into lubricant. I'm going to need a chemical plant for light oil. Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to need one for... Shoot. Chemical plant. How many of these am I going to need? I'm going to need one for lubricant. I'm going to need one for sulfur. I'm going to need one for plastic. And I'm thinking about if I lay these out vertically, I will need one for each of the different outputs, and then I can scale each of those however much I need. So I won't necessarily only have one for each, but sulfuric acid to make batteries. But I'm definitely going to need one for lubricant. I'm definitely going to need one for fuel. I'm definitely going to need one for sulfur. I'm definitely going to need one for plastic. And then... sulfuric acid. I feel like that's probably going to be important, huh? Blue circuits. Light oil can be used for flamethrower turrets and gives plus 10% damage, but that's more optional. So, okay, open question. I have heard when you're setting up defenses, it is a good idea to have two different supplies, to have two different kinds of turrets. That way, if your supply gets cut off for one of them, the other can still function. My understanding is that there's effectively, at this stage in the game anyway, 3 types of turrets. There's ammo turrets, laser turrets, and flamethrowers. Obviously, I have ammo turrets, and I'm well familiar with them. Is it better to go ammo and laser, or ammo and flamethrower, or flamethrower and laser, or all 3? This is the part of the game that I usually never get into because I don't get far enough. So I guess the problem I'm having is I feel like it takes a lot of effort to build out the infrastructure to support these things. And I don't want to spend a whole ton of time building out a bunch of infrastructure if I either don't need it or I'm going to want to change it later. Flamethrowers are desired because they have AoE and their damage is incredible. Okay. Okay. Flamethrower should always be used if you can, and others it's better to use both together. Okay. Alright, well, let's go flamethrowers then. Does type of fuel matter? I guess only in terms of what you can do with it, right? Or like quantities you produce. Because like I make way more light oil than I do heavy oil, so it wouldn't make sense to power them off of heavy oil. But to that end, would it make sense to have crude oil is cheapest and simplest. Light oil is a bit more damage. Heavy oil makes no sense. Okay. How do you see, like, what shows that light oil does more damage? Light oil is the smartest choice. Okay. Click it and look at consume on the tab. And light oil consumed in. Damage 90 per second fire. This also does 90 per second fire. Oh. 13 per second fire, 90 per second fire, and 100 per second fire. The numbers are all the same. Between light oil and crude oil, it looks like the numbers are the same. Am I missing something? Lifetime 2 seconds, duration 30 seconds. Area of effect 2.5. Movement speed 80%. Is there... Pressure greater than or equal to 10. That's the same. It might not show it. I don't know, but light does do more damage. Okay. Hey, Renegade. Yep, still playing Factorio. We're just getting into the part where I really haven't done this before. Like, the game up until now, I have done many times. Now we're at the part where it's like, I haven't really done this part before, and so I'm having to slow down and kind of work my way through it a lot more. But Cloud and Ringy and all you guys are a huge help, and I really appreciate it. It's like crude does 100%, heavy is 105, and light is 110. There's like one extremely niche scenario where I can see heavy oil making sense to use in flamethrowers, but not on Novus. Okay. Yeah, I'm only concerned about Novus right now, because I have never gotten anywhere close to the space age stuff. I will deal with that when I get there. Let me just focus on the one planet I got right now. all these other things that are out here that I can't even pronounce, like, this stuff scares me. So I'm just like, let me stick to the stuff I know. Just think of oil builds as a giant coffee machine. Okay. Plus 10% may not have enough practical difference for him. So I guess what I'm getting at is, it seems to me like the trade-off is, if you do light oil, let's say there is a damage boost, which I don't see said in here anywhere, but let's pretend for a minute that it does exist. It seems to me like you're trading quantity for damage, right? Because if I look at this thing, if I'm not using heavy oil, I have 45 light oil. I'm presumably using the petroleum gas for other stuff. So I'm turning 100 crude into 45 light oil, plus other stuff. So then I'm wondering, like, would it make more sense then for me to run a... That was not there before. Freaking biters. Would it make sense for me to just run another pipeline from one of these other oil fields just to power the turrets? And have this oil field not power turrets at all and only power manufacturing? And then just use the raw crude from the other oil field in the turrets. Or is it that I'm going to produce so much light oil and not have anything to do with it that it doesn't really matter at the end of the day? Not having built kind of oil pipelines, I don't have a feel right now for, like, what the ratios are going to end up looking like. It's much easier to pipe crude around to turrets. That's what I'm thinking. Hold on. Do we... No? Okay, it's not hitting any bases. I guess there's no one hiding in the mist. Alright. Alright, let's just get started a little bit and see what happens. And we'll build out from there. I think that's kind of how you're supposed to play it anyway. Light oil is more a you can if you want to option. Alright, okay, so we can't even do advanced oil processing yet. So we're just going to do basic. That's going to make petroleum gas. What do I need out of petroleum gas? Let's just do plastic and sulfur to start, I think. Basic produces 45 petroleum gas. Which is not quite enough to make both of these, to do one of both of these. That's obnoxious. And the research to get to advanced. Right. I need sulfur and advanced circuits. Okay. And advanced circuits needs plastic. Okay. Okay. So, let's just start with... I have a storage tank. Let's do the... These can only go up and down? I can't turn them sideways? Oh, they are going sideways. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so... Where do I want... So my oil is here. I've got this nonsense going on over here. Where do I put my oil production facility? Do I put it down here? Stretching that way? 1, 2, 3. I feel like I should put it... I don't want to put it... I want to put it here, but then I have no room to really expand it, which feels terrible. So I guess I just put it down here. I feel like I would rather have it up here. Or I guess next to it is probably the better place. Yeah, maybe we put it here. Oh, there's a freaking cliff. All right, we're gonna put it right here. We're gonna put it right where these big rocks are. Why not pipe train the oil back to the main base and process it there? So you're right. And the answer is because I had this loose idea. I could train it back. That could be cool. Oh, I can train the oil. So I'm already planning at some point to put a train in here for the iron and ship the iron ore up to my iron smeltery up here. And then I was thinking I could process the oil and I would have like sulfur and plastic and lubricant and whatever else. And I could put all that stuff on trains and ship that up here and unload them here or whatever for whatever crafting I need. But you make an interesting point, especially since plastic and sulfur are both going on my bus. What if I just train up the oil itself? And I put my oil refinery up here. And then I could just produce them and stick them on. It gives me an excuse to use fluid cars, which I wouldn't use otherwise. And that's cool. I like the way you think. Okay. Okay. So we could set up 2 trains, one for the iron, one for the oil, and we just pipe the raw crude. We just pull the crude out of the ground and we throw it on the train, and then we'll process it on the other side. So the oil will come up this way. We'll figure out the actual path of the train, but... I've got my steel smeltery here. And I could set up my oil refinery here. Train comes up, drops the oil off, and then the refinery stretches out this way. And then there's some number of belts bringing the items back. Yeah. Yeah. I like it. Okay. What items? So I want sulfur. First style is to make long-ass pipes belts back to my base because I'm very averse to using trains. So when I've done this before, I've just run giant pipes. I've just run giant pipelines. I don't like... It's the easiest way to do that, and there's effectively no downside. And it's probably the cheapest and easiest option. But I don't like doing it. Because if I run a pipeline, I want to actually, like, run pipes. But if you run giant pipes all the freaking way down, then you basically build this big wall of pipe, which sucks. So you don't do that. So you use the underground pipes, and then you just got these little pipe warts all over the place, and it looks terrible, and I hate it. So I'm like, I want to run like giant pipelines like this all the way across the map, but then this sucks for usability. So then you have to do this thing, right? Where you do like this, and then you'll go like this, and like this, right? And I'm like, I hate this. This is dumb. So then I try to like balance it, and like I'll do one of these, and I'll do like this for like 10 or 15 blocks, and then I'll put a little gap, right? I'll do like this, and then I'll run this for a while, and I'll put another little gap. But I'm like, this is still like not great. So I'm like, no, I'll use the fluid trains because fluid trains are cool. Even though they're strictly worse. They're above ground pipes now. Is that a space age thing? I mean, maybe it's a base game thing. I never got that far, but... that... if/when we get there, I will be very excited to use those. Until then, we will use fluid trains, because trains are cool. Okay, so I need sulfur and plastic. So let's just assume that we're going to have 2 lines here. One for sulfur, one for plastic. There's also, well, I'm also going to want to put a second steel line in. So... okay. Let's assume that. And then we're going to do our train. Now, I set all this stuff up to scale. Let's try to make a distinction needed between just pipes versus underground pipes. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Now, these are all set up to scale this way, even though these specifically are not things that I'm ever going to need to scale. That said, So I'll give myself a little bit of room, like here, I guess. Okay, let's assume the train's gonna come right here. That gives me no room and looks dumb. Let's try that again. Why does that look dumb? Hold on, we'll get there. Oh, I screwed this up so bad. They're still called pipes. I just called them above ground. Ah, gotcha. It's like the raised train tracks, right? Which I think are new. I feel like this looks bad, but I can't quite put my finger on why. Maybe this needs to be, like, straight for a bit. Does this matter? I don't even know. That's the problem with not having any clue what I'm doing. Okay, that's not bad. This kind of looks a little jank. I'm not sure why. That's the tightest it can go. I don't know, maybe that's okay. So the train would come up, it would come around here and stop here. Or I guess it could come up this way and then loop around. But then the station would be here somewhere, and my oil refinery would be here. We would offload the oil, process it, and then my belts for sulfur and plastic would come up this way. And presumably I would have some kind of thing for like lubricant and whatever that might come around down here or something. I don't know. Why does this look weird? I feel like this should be smoother or something. But that's like the best it can do. I don't know. Maybe it's fine. This is putting a hard limit if the train goes this way that on the expansion of these. Does that matter? I mean, that's a fair bit of expansion though. If you think about it. And I'm talking about potentially moving my green circuits up here somewhere so that I can bring them in up here with the rest of this stuff. And if I do that, like, what else here actually needs to expand? And none of this needs to expand. Is that track going to be exclusive for oil? I think so. I mean, it might combine with other tracks down here, but I think this station is going to be, and this little roundabout here is going to be exclusive for oil, I think. I don't know how many cars yet, but... Or is Iron Copper going to share that track? No. No, Iron and Copper are going to come over here. they're going to have their own. They have their own setup over here. So this is just going to be oil. I think it's fine. Because, like I said, how much of this stuff actually needs to expand? Circuits might need to expand, but I have a lot of room for expansion. One, even if I go to here. And I'm thinking about moving them up there, so that wouldn't apply. And the rest of the stuff, like, doesn't matter. Where's my car? I'm also concerned for if you decide to have multiple oil trains. That's fair. I've never gotten to the point where my scale is such that I've even needed to consider having multiple trains for something. But I know that is a thing. So that is a fair concern. But see, like, this is... What do we got here? We have ammo. Ammo might need to expand. Assemblers don't. Inserters don't. Like, none of this stuff is ever going to need to expand. Lights. Turrets. So I built all of these so that I could expand them infinitely, but none of these are things that I'm actually going to need to expand ever. Except circuits. Circuits I will need to expand probably at some point, but... Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. This is really only set up for facilitating a single oil train. Now, there would only be one oil station. I could definitely set it up so that multiple trains deliver to this station, and, like, I shift the oil out. A few times I'm forced to use trains, I try to keep the tracks unidirectional. I've done that before, and, like, it definitely makes it a little easier, and it takes up less space, with the trade-off that you have to have two engines, right? One on each side. I could do that. I guess the other thing is, let me... Did I grab... Have I even grabbed any stations yet? Yeah, here. Like, how long can this be? Station 1, 2, 3, 4? And I think there's a limit of how long a train can reasonably be. You can edit that. Let's just put this down. Train can be as long as you want it to be. Kyle LaRouche. Train can be as long as you want it to be. Ooh! We got our weapon shooting speed 4. Nice. So we're doing solar now because I think solar blocks a bunch of gear stuff. And then let's do advanced circuits and batteries. We're doing all the stuff I don't even have fluid wagons researched. Let's do fluid wagons now. Ooh, mining productivity. Blue science. I've seen videos of people showcasing 100 wagon-long trains. Oh, God. There's advanced oil. And... oh, this is robotics, though. Well, it's fine. We'll let that run. Actually, that's going to be a problem until I get Blue Science up and running. So maybe we don't do that, and we don't do that. You missed the third zero. Third zero? Oh, did I say 100? Yeah, no, I saw 1,000. Maybe I said 100. I saw 1,000. That's insane. I saw the video where they did that, what was it, the buzzsaw base? Where they just put down, like, a bunch of trains that ran in a giant circle around the whole base, all at max speed. And none of the biters could get anywhere near the base because they kept getting run over by the trains. That was hilarious. I have no intention of doing that. But that was crazy. We'll do this one, and let's do landfill, maybe. Okay. Okay, so, that's not where I want this. Okay, so the train will come up. Does it go straight in, or does it loop around first? Doesn't really matter. I think it goes straight in. Accumulators, but not solar. I don't know, man. Why am I getting accumulators? I am getting accumulators. Because that is not what I thought it was. Basically. Where's the one that gets me substations? This one. This is the one I was thinking of. That one needs blue science. Okay, yeah, I don't care about accumulators. Do bulk inserters, I guess. We'll do that. This is more like, I'm interested in these first two. And then this is just like, because I'm kind of prioritizing all of the like production bonus ones. The rest of this stuff is kind of like just because in case I'm still faffing around with trains and oil and all this other nonsense and I'm not paying attention to it, it just has something to do. I will probably either remove these or replace them or shuffling them around as I get blue science online and start replacing them with these. These are probably not going to be ones that are actually going to get prioritized, but I just need them on there. Okay, so we're going to do this. And then that'll be the engine. And we'll do 3. Can't see the first couple of research queued up. Oh, because my camera. Okay. Yeah. So we've got... hold on. If I do this and I do that. Nope, not that. There you go. So we're doing fluid trains now. We've got advanced circuits and then blue science. These are the only 3 I really care about. And then I'm prioritizing productivity because I'm doing productivity yields and like the stronger ammo and all that kind of stuff. Could also do insert or capacity bonus, I guess. Oh, that comes from the stack one, so never mind. So, these first 3 or 4 are the only ones I actually care about. The rest of this is just padding. There we go. Okay. Where was I? So, we're going to have our train here, our engine here. And then we'll have we'll plan for 3 oil cars. Which... How do I even use this? Fluid wagon. Artillery wagon. That's wild. Need pumps to load, unload fuel wagons. Pumps. I can make pumps. Okay. These need engines. Which I've been putting off automating because they're part of Blue Science. Oh! Okay. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So these take up a 2 wide space, and then presumably the train would be on one side or the other. We can... We can just use belts to simulate it for now, I guess. Okay, so that's going to be the engine. So then, do I need one? Is it just one pump per wagon? Or can I do multiple? Do I treat them like inserters and have like... four or 6 per wagon? Like this? If these are the pumps. Is that how I would do it? Something like that? Or is it just 3? 1, 2, 3? Probably just 3, huh? Up to 3? Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which means I can't space them evenly. Which makes my engineer brain sad. It's fine though. We'll do it this way. Realistically, you only need 1 per. Alright, we're going to do 2 per. Because those can be evenly spaced. And then we're going to put these into storage tanks, I think. Pumping speed is 1200 per second. And the fluid train is 50,000. Okay. So 50,000 divided by 1200 per second is 41 seconds. Pumping from fluid wagons also has weird spacing issues. Okay. Yeah, I mean that... Yeah, it looks like it's weird. Okay, let's assume it goes from 1, 3, and 5 then. So we'll do it this way. 1, 3, and 5. 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, and 5. And then how big is this guy? Storage volume is 25K. A fluid wagon holds 50, so each of these can go into 2. Hold on. Ew. Is that what I want to do? That's weird. I don't know if I like that. Where, like, this one would go like here, and this one would go like there, and this one would go like that or something. Do these have a throughput? No, doesn't look like it. All right, we got our fluid wagons. All right, yeah, we'll do something weird like this. That's not bad. And then I have 2 evenly spaced outputs here and here. Pipes have infinite throughput, but total pipeline cannot exceed 320 tile length. Ah. Okay. Okay, so we can do that. So these will hold whatever's in there. And then now we need our refineries. Can I? Can't select these to put ghosts from them, huh? No. That sucks. Unless I put them down here first. Oh. Okay. Want to go beyond that distance, use pumps to break up the pipeline into multiple segments. That makes sense. Just want to see. Okay, we know what the oil refinery is used for. It's used for like all the things, or the chemical plant. What's the oil refinery used for? The oil refinery is used to break materials and other materials. So I'm right. I'm shipping the crude oil. Crude oil is not an input into the chemical plant. I don't think. Right? No, it has to go through the refinery first. So, we're going to start with refineries. Do I have water here? I do have water here. Excellent. So, start with refineries, which are these guys. It is only needed for flamethrower ammo. Okay. If pipes have infinite throughput, is there any reason for me not to just connect all of these together and run them as a single pipe into the oil refinery? Like having these be separate so that it can pump out of the train effectively maybe makes sense. But coming out of these storage tanks and into the oil refinery, is there any reason for me not to just connect them all together on this side? Because it seems to me if pipes have infinite throughput, I don't really gain much by having certain refineries limited to certain storage tank inputs. Pumps will extract the oil from the fluid wagons. Yep, that's these. So these will pull the oil from the fluid wagons and put them in the storage tanks. And then I'm going to run it from the storage tanks into the oil refineries. And I'm just trying to see if it makes sense for me to have oil refineries that are dedicated for each wagon, effectively. There's no reason to require the tanks to be right next to train unloading. No, I know. This is just kind of a holdover from doing this for ore, where I'm like, get this matches the capacity of the train. So if this is empty, I can unload the train fully, let the train get on its way, while I then process outward. And since these have infinite throughput, I could put this anywhere. I'm just putting it here because why not? But I'm just trying to see, like, does it make sense for me to have 3 sets of refineries? Something like this. And these map to these, and these map to these, and these map to these. Or does it make sense for me to just have a string of refineries, and then all of these just go into all of these? I don't think I gain anything by having refineries dedicated to each storage. If pipes had limited throughput, I might, because I wouldn't want to overload them, but I don't think there's any reason for them to be separate. Yeah. I think so. I think you're right. So, in that case, we're going to go here. I'm just going to run down a couple of these. 2, 4, 6. We'll just assume 6. Okay, there's my blue science. Now. Not that it couldn't work if you partitioned it. Yeah, exactly. And then that's what I'm getting at. Like, it could work, but there's no reason for it to work that way. Because presumably some of these are going to get backed up at some point, just... Like, I'll try to prevent that, but that's going to happen. And if pipes did not have infinite throughput, having them all together could cause a problem where fluid is not getting to certain ones because it doesn't get far enough down the line and that kind of thing. Right? Just like belts, right? If I had a single belt and I was pulling off the belts, this one's going to get more than that one. But that doesn't apply to pipes. So if these were belt fed, then doing this makes sense so that, and like you get the idea of this. so that these are not getting less throughput because these are taking it all. But I think because pipes have infinite throughput, I don't need to, that's not an issue here. Okay. So what I'm gonna do then is, where'd my pipes go? So here's my pipes. Which one's the water input? Does it matter? I think if I remember right, a specific one is the water input. Is it the top one or the bottom one? Not that it's a huge deal. Like, I can just reroute the pipes if I'm wrong, but you can invert the inputs and outputs. Excellent. The water inputs, whichever one isn't using the oil. Okay. All right, so what I'm thinking is we're gonna have a bar. Nope. I don't want to do that. As I'm running this down, I'm like, nope, that's not correct. We want gaps so that I can get through it. There. Okay. Curse you. There. Except that's not where I want that. Oil's gonna go on the top one, so we're gonna do that. Oil. Oil goes here. Yeah. There. Okay, so oil goes into the top of all of these for now. Might be easier to flip every other one to make piping the output easier later. See what you're saying. So do it like this, you're saying. Good call. Good call. Yep. I agree. Oh, can you do V flipping too? Oh, that makes it so much easier. I thought you can only do it horizontally. Whoops. Yeah. That's fine. I know if I do this, I'm gonna regret it. I shouldn't do that. I'm going to want to run through here, and I'm gonna hate everything because I can't. So, just don't do it. Okay, that one goes there. And then these, we can do this. Oh yeah, look at that. Beauty! Ooh. Ooh. I like that even better. Nice. Look at that. Oh, I like that. And then when we go to run the water line, we can put the water line here. Oh, baby. Ooh, look at that. Nifty. And then I just got to get the water from there and figure out how to get it over here without looking completely dumb. I might just deal with the pipe warts. It's fine. Yes. And then we'll have all our outputs, and then we'll figure out how to deal with that. Cool. Love that. All right. Where'd my car go? Okay. I think we might call this one there. I've been playing for 3 hours already, which is an hour longer than I usually play. Got some getting started on trains. We've got some good setup going. Got the our defenses are in a much better position. We are currently not being attacked. Nope. Let me just come up here and check on my smeltery. Oh, hold up. We are definitely going to need to get these trains going sooner rather than later. There we go. Let me go check on the coal. Yep, that one's having trouble too. Coal's going to be a little trickier to replace, but it's fine. Let me... There. All right. We're going to call this one here. Excellent progress. My friends, I want to thank you so much for hanging out, This was a whole bunch of fun. Probably my favorite stream yet. Renegade, Tringy, Cloud. Been great hanging out and chatting with you guys. And I look forward to doing so again. Got a nice little base coming together here. All right. So, with that, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, follow, whatever platform you're on, to get those notifications when I go live. Since those notifications are not the most reliable, you can also join my Discord. You'll find it in the description on YouTube or in the About Me on Twitch. Can hang out in between streams, chat there. If you have any ideas for other games or anything you want to see in this game or any other, would love to chat about it. And otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And I will see you next time.